Hi everybody, welcome back to Annijuuti Knits knitting podcast. This is episode 13 and my name is Annina. I'm a Finnish knitter and a knitwear designer and I live on the west coast of Finland, a place called Kokkola. If you are new here, welcome to join us. This is mainly a podcast about knitting and occasionally I show you some yarn dyeing, but most of the time I will show you all the million of the works in progress that I have going on at a time. And yeah, welcome. Let's get started. You can find me on Instagram as Annijuuti Knits. That's where I'm the most active. And if you want to send me a message, say hello, ask me anything, Instagram is the place to do so because yeah, that's where you can find me. All right, let's start today's episode. First of all, I want to say thank you for all of you who have subscribed. I have officially hit 1,000 subscribers and it feels really good. And I think that calls for a giveaway, but I haven't had time to organize anything. So by the next episode, I will get some goodies put together and I will organize a giveaway in the next episode. Okay. Like the title says, Shawlography, the mystery knit along by Stephen West, that has taken a lot of my knitting time, but I have done a little bit of progress on a couple of my previous works in progress, so I will talk about those first, and towards the end of the episode I will talk about my Shawlography mystery shawl that I've been working on very intensively. First, I am wearing my first ever finished sweater or even like a finished garment, and I have made this in March 2020, so almost 2 years ago, and that's when my garment knitting has started. And yeah, I wanted to wear this because I want you to see that not all the projects that we make are the most successful ones, and I think this was a good practice for me. The pattern is called the Lemon Sweater by Hilke Buss. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. She is also known as the Halo the Ugly Bunny on Instagram. She is a yarn dyer based in Germany. And this was her first sweater pattern, and it was my first ever knitted sweater. The yarn that I used for this was onion wool and nettles, and this was, I can't remember if they have like a specific way of explaining the yarn weights, but this is like a worsted weight yarn, and this was my first ever yarn that I bought that wasn't these basic supermarket yarns, and it's not overly expensive, but it's more expensive than the ones that you can find from the supermarket. And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed with the yarn. I think it's because of the fiber content, but it peels a lot. It peels so much. I have de-peeled. I just, before I started filming, I was de-peeling the arms, and yeah, so I'll stand up a little bit to show you. So it's a round yoke sweater, and like I said, my first sweater ever, my first colorwork sweater. I had made colorwork in socks before this, but those long floats at the very end of this yoke, they are a bit tight. My floats are really tight, and that's why it's kind of restricting on the shoulders. And this sweater doesn't have any short row shaping, so it's all the time it rises up from the neck part or in the front, and it's lower at the back. So this was I think this was the only pattern, only garment pattern that I have actually followed to a T. After that, I have modified pretty much every single pattern that I have worked on. That's just my preference. I like things to fit certain way, and yeah. I normally don't really wear this sweater other than in the winter under a coat when I need a warm layer. I don't really like to go anywhere with this one. It's not my favorite fit. It's somewhat loose on the body. The sleeves are a bit short and loose, and the ribbings are too short in my liking. So yeah, it was a very good learning process, but not a very successful one. But nevertheless, it's my first ever sweater, and yeah, I've started with this, and the color scheme is really me. I think I was supposed to born in the 70s because I'm always drawn to these very 70s vibe colors. Okay, that's that. Okay, let's get started. From the previous works in progress that I have shown you in the previous episodes, and yeah, I'm a little bit all over the place. I don't know. This was sort of an impromptu film, even though I knew that today, if I want to film, it's either today, which is Thursday, the 21st of October, or Saturday. I would have to, to tell my family to leave so that I can film. So I decided to use part of my knitting workday, my design workday, to film an episode for you guys. So actually, I will start with the finished object. This is my only finished object, and it's actually the only finished object for the month. I have been working on the Shawlography a lot, and if you are knitting along with with the group of these MKAL knitters, you know that this shawl is no piece of cake. So it takes up a lot of time. So yeah, here you can see my finished object is these stripy socks. These are made in scrap yarns that I had left. They are knitted in Novita 7 veljestä, which is the most common Finnish yarn brand, and also the weight of yarn. It's a worsted weight, and that's what Finnish people knit the most. Novita is a very famous yarn brand. I think in the UK you can find some Novita yarns, and it's a very good workhorse yarn. I have a lot of stash of this particular yarn. I have tinier balls, I have bigger skeins, and yeah, this is what I started with. This is what pretty much all the Finnish people start with. It's a thick yarn, it's a fast, it's machine washable. You can chuck it in the washing machine, and you don't have to be afraid what happens. I have actually even put this yarn into the dryer by accident, and nothing happened. So yeah, it's a good yarn. These socks are made for my nephew. If you have followed me along for a couple of episodes in the summer, I made these orange and teal striped socks for my nephew with fingering weight, and they were too small. So I made it up by knitting him a new pair. He has a birthday coming up in 2 weeks, so I made him another pair. Now I know that this is definitely big enough. I think this is most likely even too big for him, but the kids will grow so fast, and in Finland you need woolly socks year around, so I'm pretty sure that he will get a lot of wear out of these socks. So yeah, I nearly used up all the leftovers that I had from the striped yarn. I had like a 3-gram little nugget left, so I think it was a really successful scrap project. I used contrasting heel, toe, and a little bit for the cuff. I had the same yarn in the orangey yellow color, so very successful pairing. And I knit this up toe up, and I actually used the Bellish app for the instructions, because I've never done a gusset heel or heel flap and gusset type of heel constructions worked from toe up. So since I had the app, I used those instructions to make those socks. Yep. I don't know if I have anything else to say with those socks. The next whip is also associated with Bellish. This is the cardigan that I am making. I talked about this project a lot in the previous episode, so I'm not going into too many details. But this is a cardigan that I'm making for our 8-year-old, and she just tried it on, and it's not a cropped, even though I chose the cropped length, but because the sizing was from 8 to 10 years, I think she is now 8, so I think the length is a bit longer on her, since it's a dual sized pattern, or however you want to call it. Last time I was just I had just divided for the front and back, so I had made the basket weave portion, and I was just working on the right front panel. So I have done both of the front panels and the back piece, and even though the pattern suggested first making the sleeves, I wanted to make the button band and the neck ribbing first, and that was actually just because I had bought or I had 2 skeins of, or 2 balls of this yarn at home, and when I decided that I'm making her a cardigan, I knew that that's not enough. I had to go and buy more, but because that was purchased 6 months ago, of course I didn't get the same dye lot. So what I ended up doing was using two skeins for the body and the bottom band, and I just had like 5 meters left over from those two skeins, so I still have two. I only have sleeves to go. I'm pretty sure that even one would be enough, but I didn't know. I purchased the yarn according to the pattern, or what the pattern suggested, so I wanted that I won't be running out of yarn. But yes, I have done a little bit of modifications. The pattern suggested that you would make the button bands words button bands in 3 sections. So you would pick up just until where the V starts. So you would knit both of the button bands separately and then the neckline separately. But I didn't want any seam to be shown here, so I took the risk. I picked up all the stitches around, and yes, it worked out pretty well. What do you think? I even put this little button on it. I happen to have these buttons. These are actually, I think, from my grandmother's stash, and she has passed away when I was 9 years old. So, what was it? 97, I think. 97, probably. 96, 97, I can't remember. Anyway, so these are some well marinated buttons. I have collected, or I actually took my mother's button stash with me when I moved to my own apartment when I was 19, and I have a very established button stash. I was working in a fabric store for 8 years, so I have collected some of my own, but I also have these inherited buttons from my mother and from my grandmother, actually both of them. So yeah, I think it works really well. It's the same color scheme, a little bit lighter, but I had plenty of those, so I can match it up with this cardigan. One other modification that I made, this shoulder seam, I was supposed to just like sew it with mattress stitch. The pattern suggests you to bind off the shoulders. The next time I'm making the same cardigan, I already bought the yarn for my niece to make this same cardigan. I'm not binding off the shoulders. I will just hold them, set them aside, and do the Kitchener stitch or 3 needle bind off. In this case, I didn't sew it. I made like I was like duplicating stitches to sew it, but because it has this bind off seam underneath, it's not laying really flat. So I think I would prefer it to be Kitchener stitched so that it would be kind of invisible. But yeah, it's working out really well, and if I wouldn't have so many projects going on simultaneously, I would probably this is a quick finish, I think. I just need to get cracking with it. Okay, so that I showed you already last time. 2 more sweaters that you have already seen if you have been following me along, and one is this Love Note sweater. So as I mentioned last time, I am participating on this Love Note KAL by Professor Pearl, and she is hosting this Love Note sweater KAL, Love Note Love KAL. I will put it here. And basically, we are just knitting the Love Note pattern by Tincanknits, and we have until the beginning of December to do so. So here is my progress. It's not a huge amount. Last time when I showed this to you, I was here. I had just separated the sleeves, and now I've been knitting up the body. It reaches now little lower than my belly button. So I was measuring this yesterday, and I decided I wanted the hem to be 10 more centimeters of stockinette, and then I think I'm gonna make like a long 6 centimeters, 2.5 inches long ribbing to the bottom. If you want to know more about this project, go and watch my previous episode. There I will explain a little bit more about this project. I just wanted to give you a little update how it's going on. Whew! I think I'm again kind of trying to keep this going, and I feel like I'm out of breath because I'm just talking so fast. Yeah, that was the Love Note, and I was watching the newest episode of This Nanny Knits yesterday, and she was saying that she's been working on so many projects that it feels like she's not going anywhere. Like you can't really tell, you can't really see any progress because you're working on so many projects at a time. And I feel like that's the situation that I am in most of the times. I always have like, I don't know, 5 to 6 active projects going on at the same time, and then it feels like you're making progress, like few rows here and few rows there and half a cuff there, and you know the drill. But that's what I feel like has happened here. I was filming 2 weeks ago, and well, I think when we get to the Shawlography shawl, you will see why I haven't made substantial progress with most of my whips. One more work in progress that I want to update you about, and that is my Heart of a Wanderer children's sweater. It's now a little bit complicated because I'm working on the sleeves, and I'm working the sleeves simultaneously. So here it is. So I have those sleeves on the cable at the moment. It's a little bit difficult to show you, but last time I was filming, I was here. So I've made maybe 6 centimeters of the body and the bottom ribbing. It's a twisted rib. I really like the look of it. The yarn is superwash merino wool by Sandnes Garn, and I have also talked about this project a few times already, so I'm not going into too many details. I just wanted to show you, this is how I normally do my sleeves, 2 at a time, magic loop. It's not very far yet. I think I've done like an inch, 3 centimeters or so of the sleeves, and my son agreed to try this on, and he wasn't complaining too much, so I have still hopes that he would eventually wear this sweater. It's a pattern that I have already written. I'm running a quick test knit over in my Facebook group, and I'm hoping to publish this pattern this year, but I don't know when exactly. But yeah, this is the 4 to 5 year. This size is the 4 to 5 years. My God, my words. Yeah, so it's a little bit big on my son. He is a small 3.5-year-old, so it's a bit loose and bit long on him. But like I said, kids grow so fast that I really didn't want to make the size that would fit him like just for the next 3 months, and then it would be too small. So I'm taking my chances and making a size bigger than he actually is. Yeah, those were all my whips that you have seen, and I have now the Shawlography mystery shawl to show you. I have nearly finished the clue 2. I showed you the yarn last week in my last video, and if you do not want to see the shawl, now it's the time to say goodbye, because I will show the progress that I have made with my shawl. And here it comes. Da 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 da. So if you know this pattern, you know that I am missing one of these wedges. So tomorrow is Friday. It's a new clue release day, and I still have one of these huge wedges to make, and it's been a lot of knitting. It started out, the first clue was this little fan motif, followed by these slip stitch triangles, and continued to these I-cord loops. I'm sorry, this unnatural lighting probably is affecting on the colors a little bit. We are heading towards winter, towards the darker season, and Finland will be pitch black for the next couple of months. So I think I have to use this artificial lighting in the next months. So bear with me. I don't have a ring light, so I actually have been thinking about getting one, but I haven't yet. Okay, so that was clue 1. Clue 2, it started with this I don't know what was it, how he did explain this section, but it has like garter contrast, and then stockinette on the bottom, and then some slip stitches over the top. Then we went to the welts. They look really fun, textural. And then we had this triangle section, and then we made some bubbles. They are really fun. And you know what? Stephen has said multiple times, do not change the order of your colors so you don't risk running out of yarn. But I was a bad girl, and I did change the order. I'm I like to live on the edge. No, I just didn't like the idea of my variegated yarn. I can actually show you. It's this one. There you have it. I didn't like the idea of this color in the bubbles. So I just made a little tweak, and this red would have been in the wedge with the mauve. I don't know the name of this color, this pinky purpley color. So I just switched them up. I made the bubbles in my red color, and then I used the variegated yarn in the wedge. And yeah, I really like the look of it now. I think it looks balanced, and to be honest, I have been struggling with my color choices. Like, technically, if you have seen my previous episode where I show you the yarns for this shawl in skeins, they look perfect together. They look absolutely stunning together. And these two colors, they play really nice. There's some orangey colors in this variegated yarn, and these colors work really nice together. And the dark red and the dark brown plays with both of these and both of these, but it's these two together that I just don't think they go together. They clash. This is a very cold pinky purpley mauve. I don't know the name of this color. Very cool tone. When this is this very warm, rich orange and rusty color, and they clash. They clash so bad that I have struggled with them. Even already in this section, I just didn't like the last stripe. Overall, I think my color scheme looks pretty. I think it looks like balanced, and I think I will like the end result. But sorry, needles clashing my my glass of water. Here, when I started doing the triangles after the welts, and the orange was interacting with the mauve color, I was struggling again. But in the end, I think they look nice, and I'm just hoping to finish one of these massive wedges today, so that I'm all done tomorrow when this mystery continues to unravel or unwrap itself. And yeah, we have this little chat group on Instagram with few of the podcasters who are making this shawl, and it's been really fun. I've been talking to Martin over the Knit 365 blog. He's doing a Shawlography Vlogtober series, and I also have some other friends. One of my dear Finnish friends. We've been sending back and forth some messages according to this shawl. So even though, like I said last time, that I didn't plan on participating this year's Mystery Knit Along, because I knew that it takes up so much time, but I have to say that this knitting community, it's so amazing, it's so inspiring, it's so much fun to compare your projects. We're all making this together, and this Stephen West crazy inventions, and this amazing pattern that no one else would ever come up with all these techniques, and I'm learning so many new things, and it's been just a blast. It's been so much fun to participate on this, and especially with all of you guys. Leave me a comment if you are making this shawl. I would like to know. Leave me your Instagram handle. I will go and check you out. It's been so much fun seeing other people's color choices and how different they all look depending on whether your framing color is dark or light, and if you are using mohair or whatnot. So I'm really curious to know of all of your shawls. But yeah, I still have some work to do with this one, and I am really enjoying the knit. I am really enjoying learning all the techniques. It's just the time. As a working mother of 2 little boys, it's sometimes really hard to find the time, and by the time the kids are in bed, it's late, and it's really hard to focus on something that needs attention. So it's been kind of difficult to find the time or the energy. I do have the time in the evenings, but some days I'm just so tired that I can't focus. So I've been knitting on those stockinette bodies and sleeves and socks. What those projects that are more easy to follow. Yeah, couple more things before we wrap this up. Like I said, with this sweater, that I was depilling it just before we started, or before I started the film. So I was curious to know, how do you take care of your knits? Do you what tools do you use to depill, or how often do you wash them? Do you block them? Do you just take them out to get some air, or how do you take care of your knits? I have to say that I'm not really washing my sweaters a whole lot. I have noticed that if you are using natural materials like wool, it doesn't really start to smell. So what I often do, I just give them a little air outside. I'll just hang them in a hanger and let them be outside for half a day or a day, and then I will just make sure they're dry and then fold them back into my closet. And I wanted to show you 2 tools that I use for depilling. This is my wool comb. It has this little, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if it's focusing. There you have it. My head is on the way. Sorry, this was a little bit awkward. But this comb is really handy. It just you can't see if I'm holding it that way. So I'm just scraping off the pills, and it comes off in this fluff texture. So this is the one that I use the most. Before I bought this comb, I had this electric one. So it's an electric. I don't. What's the word for these depilling tools? I don't know. So this is just the little machine made to depill. But yeah, I don't often wash, just air them out and then fold them back into the closet. And if I'm using these softer, more pillier yarns, then I depill with those two tools. Most often I always use that comb because that's really gentle way of depilling. I know that there's like these sweater stones. It's kind of like sandpaper. It's pretty rough. I have seen them in this yarn fair places. I have touched it and I feel like that's kind of rough. It's apparently that's very good for the more rustic wools, but if you're using merino wool or single ply, well, merinos and all those soft yarns, then the comb is really handy. Yeah, that's that. Two other things. um, these are my own design things that I just want to quickly mention. My son turned 2 last Sunday on the 17th, and when he was 1 year old, I wanted to make him a sweater, and I did this. This is the Viikari sweater, and it was never supposed to be a pattern. I just wanted to have the photos taken him wearing a sweater, a hand-knit sweater that I have made and designed. So I designed him a sweater, I made it, and it was so cute that I turned it into a pattern. And that was my first ever garment pattern. I had only done socks before that, so I only did it in Finnish. But because I have had some people ask me if there is a English version of this pattern, I have now translated it. I had it tested in 2 sizes, the English version. So the whole pattern is obviously tested and all the sizes have been tested in Finnish. But I just made a translation. I wanted to make sure that the translation is working. So yeah, so I had it tested, and if I'm not all caught, if I'm not just knitting my West knit shawl today, I'm hoping to finalize the pattern, and over this weekend I will definitely upload it to Ravelry. So the English translation will be out this weekend, and I will link the pattern down below. I will always link everything that I talk about, or I will try my best to be as informative as I can. So for the next week, I'm offering this pattern with a little promotion code, or not even a code. I will offer this pattern with a little promotion, no code needed. So if you are interested, the whole of next week, so the last week of October, this Viikari pattern will be out and with a little discount. So go and grab yours if you want to make some kids sweaters. It comes in 6 sizes. The sizing is from 1-year-old to 6 to 7-year-old. So yeah, because it was my first ever sweater pattern, I didn't have such a wide range, but it covers some kitty sizes. And also what I'm gonna do today, I already wrote this test knit application form. So my Christmas socks, which has My Christmas socks that now got a name, um, they are called Kuusi Juhla socks. I was having this poll on my Instagram, what should we call them? Or I was asking some suggestions because sometimes I have a really strong idea of what I want my patterns to be named, but this time I didn't have in anything like any name that I wanted to have. So I asked some help from my Instagram followers, and most of the suggestions were Finnish names. So I chose four, made a poll, and the clear winner was Kuusi Juhla socks. And that's an old-fashioned way of saying Christmas party. The straight translation is like spruce the tree fest. So yeah. So I'm putting this up for testing today. If you want to see it, you have to follow me on Instagram since I am posting the picture on my Instagram and putting the application up. And yeah, by the time this video is uploaded, I have probably already posted the test call. So if you're interested, go over to my Instagram and apply for a test. That's everything that I had for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking up with me until the end. I'm really happy that I have found this creative outlet in form of a YouTube channel. I'm always really excited to film. I'm always really excited to see what you guys think, and it's been so lovely to have all the comments and the chat with a lot of you, and it always makes me smile to read these comments during the week. And yeah, it's just precious, and I'm really happy that I had the courage to start filming my own podcast, even though I was a little hesitant in the beginning. I hope you have a great weekend, or if you are watching this later on, a great week. And I will see you in the next 2 weeks. And yeah, you take care, and bye bye.